Hello everyone, we are from Syndicate 3. We are going to explain our scenario planning for PT Bank Mandiri. First of all, allow me to introduce our group member. They are Dhianaufal, Yanuar Rahmanto, Ayu Isnadya Al Amin, Satya, Fajar, Gumelar, and last but not least, myself, Nadhilah, Zatil. Points that will be discussed in this video. First one is definitions, function, and components of scenario planning. Then company profile, then move to stage 1 orientation, stage 2 driving force, stage 3 scenario elements, stage 4 option consideration, and the last one is stage 5 integration on early warning sign. What is scenario planning? Scenario planning defined as a methodology that uses the inherent human capacity for imagining futures to better understand the present situation and to identify possibilities for new strategy according to Ramirez and Wilkinson 2016. And as a conceptual tool used to address complexity, uncertainty, and the unknown through the consideration of one to many potential future states, activities, situation, event, decision, and or occurrence, according to School Aka 2017. What is the function of scenario planning? Scenario planning helps improve decision making in the present, since the scenarios serve the purpose of evaluating current strategic option to develop alternative strategies to handle possible future, and select the suitable and right strategy among multiple correct strategies. The next one is components of scenario planning. There are 5 stages. The first one is orientation. It will define the key focal issue. Stage 2 exploration. It explains driving forces, critical uncertainties and impact. Stage 3 scenarios creation. It explains elements and narrative. And move to stage 4 option consideration. It will explain implication and options. And stage 5 integration, early warning sign. Our syndicate used to make scenario planning of PT Bank Mandiri Persero. It is a state-owned enterprise operates as a financial services provider in the country. The bank's service include trade finance, foreign exchange, and custodial service, cash management, payment processing, and debit and credit cards. PT Bank Mandiri Persero or Bank Mandiri established when the Indonesian financial sector had collapsed in the late 1990s. 4 state-owned banks, Bank Exim, Bank Bumidaya, Bank Dagang Negara, and Bapindo, were merged into Bank Mandiri as a part of government bank's restructuring program. Bank Mandiri's headquarters is in Jakarta, currently is the largest bank in Indonesia in terms of assets, loans, and deposits. Bank Mandiri continues to grow over time and has achieved a dominant position in several financial services in Indonesia. Through its subsidiaries, Mandiri Sekuritas provide a full range of investment banking and asset management service and is also a significant player in the government bond market. AXA Mandiri Financial Service provides bank insurance products through Bank Mandiri's retail branch network. And the last one is Mandiri Tunas Finance, is a nationally distributed multi-finance company specializing in vehicle loans. In 2016, digital bank in Indonesia and most conventional banks started to digitalize their service. Digital bank provides simplicity and efficiency. It minimizes the interaction with the customer, and then the digital banks also will help you with your banking needs only by your phone. Mandiri Consumer Banking still stands with the conventional way, not providing simplicity to what digital banks did. Trend shows that digital banks will grow up faster or even beating the conventional. To encounter the change, how the defensive strategy carried out by Bank Mandiri for facing digitalization era in the next 10 years.
The trend shows that digital bank will grow up faster or even beat conventional bank. There are several driving forces related to digitalization project of Bank Mandiri, which is divided into 3 parts. There is organizational, transactional, and contextual. Organizational means the driving force comes from within the institution. while the transactional refers to the driving force that comes from the industry, and the contextual is the macro size of driving force. Based on our assessment of the organizational driving force are employee capability, asset utilization, operational efficiency, corporate culture, and transformation readiness. And for the transactional driving force are customer demand, interest rate, competitor capability, and corporation need. The last, the contextual driving force. There are government regulation, political and economic situation, inflation, technology development, and economic recession. After we find the driving force that have an impact on Bank Mandiri business, we can determine which driving force are most critical based on the level of uncertainty on axis Y and the level of impact to the business performance on the axis X. Through the critical uncertainty graphic, we score all driving force from 0 to 100, where 100 means the most critical. There are two driving forces that have a high impact on the uncertainty, which are our technology development and competitor capability. Technology development has score of 90 both on impact and uncertainty. And for the competitor capability, has a score of 90 on impact and 80 on uncertainty level. We believe in the future, technology will have a major role in almost every industry, including digital bank and digital lending fintech. Impact on technology development will be high on the banking industry, and it creates high level of uncertainty level. Why? It's because the change will drive fast and uncontrollable. For the past year, a lot of banking players realized digital bank as a new phase of the banking industry and compete with conventional bank because of the development technology in the future. We might think that it's troublesome to identify the competitor in terms of the availability during digitalization. If there are only a few competitors, this will give the advantage for Bank Mandiri. However, now there are many competitors who consider digitalization and follow the trend. Not only direct competitor, but also indirect competitor like lending of fintech who provide the easiest way to lend someone. That means Bank Mandiri should create selling unique in order to compete and sustain in the industry.
We will make the framework of scenario using those two factors, and this framework is explained about the interaction between those driving force, and we can see in here the horizontal is about competitor availability, the left side is the low competitor availability, and the right side is the high competitor availability, and then the vertical one is about technology advancement. The top one is the fast technology development, and the bottom one is about the slow technology development. From our discussion, we can conclude that the preferable scenario of Bank Mandiri is the technology evolution, which is fast technology development and high competitor availability. However, all of this scenario could be happen in the future, so we should be ready about that. So we move to next slide. We identify the elements of its scenario. The first one is scenario of segmented because it has low competitor availability and fast technology development. The scenario has several elements. It is gradual digitalization and focus on segmented market. The second one is scenario of survival because it has low competitor availability and slow technology development. The scenario has several elements. It is direct sales approach, doing business with traditional way, and build new branch. The third one is scenario like business as usual because it has high competitor availability and slow technology development. That scenario has several elements. It is high amount transaction, customer prefer to come to the offline branch, focus on conventional banking service, or no unique proposition and know your customer. And the last one is most favorable scenario. It is scenario of technology evolution because it has fast competitor availability and it has high competitor availability and fast technology development. The scenario has several elements. It is digital banking and digital lending become new standard. Fast competition or no boundary. Total conversion to digital. Bank security will be getting more vulnerable and possible of data leak. And then next, we move to scenario narrative. We are dividing into 4 narrative. Let's just start from the most favorable one for this quadrant in the upper right. It is the most favorable because it has the most expected result or scenario. For example, the narrative we might be able to see from Bandung News 18 February 20 and 32. In the last 10 years, Bank Mandiri has developed several digital bank products that have high-tech features by prioritizing easy access for all customer segments. In addition, the information technology security system at Bank Mandiri has been significantly improved every year to ensure the trust of customers who have been given to the bank. Bank Mandiri has become one of the leaders in technological advancement in the banking sector in the last 10 years. Many technological breakthroughs have been made by Bank Mandiri that have an impact on the value and capital market of the company. Next, for example, in the segmented scenario, this is the narrative we might be able to see. Bank Mandiri is gradually developing technology in several of its bank products. In the last 10 years, Bank Mandiri has only made 4 new products and developed new service features. The development and manufacture of bank product is made only to follow the market flow. In addition, technology development carried out by Bank Mandiri is only focused on certain markets that really needed and generate greater profits. And next, for example, in the survival scenario, this is the narrative we might be able to see. The Vice President of Bank Mandiri stated that in the last 10 years, Bank Mandiri has added an average of 5 new branch offices in almost every district or city in Indonesia. The total number of new branch offices that have been built so far has almost reached 1,000. This was done by Bank Mandiri to make a better direct sales approach to customers throughout Indonesia. This has made Bank Mandiri called the bank with the best growth over the last 10 years. And the last one, for example, in the business as usual scenario, this is the narrative we might be able to see. The Vice President of Bank Mandiri stated that in the last 10 years, Bank Mandiri has always been in the top 3 banks with the highest number of transactions in Indonesia. Bank Mandiri always develops the convenience and security of customer transaction through branch office and head office. The development of customer service is always prioritized to face this increasingly fierce competition.
Okay, now we go to the options and implications. In the option sessions, we have several options to prepare for each of the scenarios that we have mentioned earlier. For a survival planning where there is low competitor availability and slow technology development, we need to build stronger brand in order to be customers' top of mind. Therefore, we also need to focus on segmented customer that prefers a conventional method. Nevertheless, there are also implications for this method. It means that if we were in these situations, there would be low productivity since that we need abundant human resource that lacks skills in comparison to the technology used by the other company. Since that we operate using human resource, we also pay wages for the employee, hence increasing operation costs and limit company's growth. On the down right quadrant, we have high competitor availability and slow technology development. The options we can provide in the business as usual are maximizing utilizations on the current situations. Since that the competition is quite high in the industry, we have slow technology development. We need to improve the quality of the branch so that we can compete with the other central bank. We also need to shut down any unproductive asset in order to lower the costs. The implication for these situations is that if we could not lower or eliminate unproductive asset, there will be high operating costs and hence we will not be able to compete on this stiff industry. On the lower competitor availability and fast-paced technology, the scenario planning is quite segmented. Since that there is low competitions in the industry, Bank Mandiri could be the pioneer of the segmented market. Since that they are the leader, they could easily gain new user and increase user engagement. The implications for the scenario is that since they are the pioneer, the maintenance cost for its technology is quite high and there's only a limited market share. On the top right quadrant, the possible scenario is the technology evolution, a situations where there is high competitor availability and high-paced technology development. The options for the bank, they need to stand out in the dynamic environment by creating unique services. They need to be better and faster in order to outcompete for the others and become customers' top of mind and first choice. However, there is also implications for this scenario. The barrier to enter is very high due to the high demand and high services. The stiff competition will lead to new implemented regulations and increased number of digital lending platforms, which further increase the competitions in the industry.
Stage 5. Integration or early warning signs. The early warning signs offer the hope that patterns observed in data can predict the future states of ecological system. The segmented scenarios sections need to be careful of the imperfect competition between a new player banks to old player banks. The conventional banks can easily persuade government to make policies that halt the new digital banks development. And in the technological evolution, the digital security becoming main issue since the bank using the data information digitally. The banking industry is very concerned about using of personal data. When we put the data digitally, the secure of the data have to be protected securely, not like conventional banks that keep consumer personal data inside the banks. And the internet user growth can bring the new regulation of the technological evolution and the digital banks into the new normal lifestyles of the consumer. And the digital lending growth is expected to be the opportunities in the future of the new normal lifestyles. The digital banks era might be offering the consumer with quick and effective financial solutions during and after the pandemic era for a new normal, including loans, insurance, and a line of credit with touchless and contactless products. And if the actor of the industry banking in Indonesia stays to compete in conventional way in limited areas without any digital penetration, the company must be aware that from time to time, consumers are improved, especially in the internet literacy area, that may create the cashless generations and make it as usual behavior. The more conventional in the company, the higher will the cost, especially in spending costs for human resources. While on the common bow of business as usual sections, the company will have a stagnant growth from time to time and the market penetration is lower. So because of the stagnant on penetration, that means the cost will get higher as well related to the human resources and the operation costs. So, going back to the key focal issues of how the defensive strategy carried out by Bank Mandiri for facing digital era in the next 10 years, the several possible scenarios that we laid out earlier, each of these scenarios have a different implication on how the technological affect the industry. Due to the digitalization era, the evolution on the technology plays greater part in improving the quality of business. Therefore, the businesses such as Bank Mandiri needs to be aware of the possible scenario that might happen in the near future. So thank you for watching this video. We are from Syndicate 3 and thank you.